What is going on, everyone, and thanks for visiting my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button below. Real quick, I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes I made during my mountain marathon run. Number 1 was not training the most important muscle, which is my hip flexors. Your hip flexors help keep your body stable, which is extremely essential when you are running with all these rocks and stones in uneven, unstable terrain. These hip flexors, if they're not trained properly, they tend to cause tightness in your quadriceps, your hamstrings, and eventually can lead down to strain in your knees, which is the worst experience to have during a run. So make sure you train your hip flexors. Number 2 was not preparing for the incline. I assumed that because I work out, my legs, that I wouldn't have to do so much incline training. It wasn't really available to me in Florida. I would have to go through a machine, so I might say that made me a little bit lazy too. At the end of the day, the incline is something that needs to be worked on separately. It's not something that you can imitate through other exercises. You have to actually do incline training to get better and more prepared for incline terrain. So climbing those 2,000 feet during my first lap in the mountain marathon destroyed my legs because they had never seen that type of incline before. And lastly, the biggest mistake I made, which really was like the icing on the cake that made me drop, was not having extra fluid. I wanted to run really light since I knew this was going to be a tough run, and I relied strictly on the aid stations. Unfortunately, I miscalculated one of the aid stations, and I thought I was going to be like 2 miles away, but it was actually 5. In that short moment, with all of the stress that the race was doing to me, I didn't realize that running 5 miles in Colorado and all these mountain terrain was going to demand a lot more water than running on a flat surface. So those 5 miles without any water started to give me disorientation. I started feeling symptoms of dehydration. I ended up missing the aid station, and because I was just so disoriented, and so I had to go for the next one. And in that point, just started throwing up. I took a seat, someone helped me out, and I had to drop because there was no way I could keep going with all the other mistakes I made and then being dehydrated on top of all of that. So hopefully you don't have to make any of these mistakes. I would love to hear any mistakes that you've made during any mountain terrain or marathon, and hopefully in the future I'm gonna come back here, finish this race, and be well trained enough to brag about it and tell you guys some things that I actually did well and some tips for next time. So that's all I got for today. I'm gonna go get back to my hike, get some circulation going in my legs as a cool off for my run. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, please press the like button below. I hope to see you on the next video. See ya.